After a series of scandals surrounding his relationship with Dakota Johnson, 50 Shades actor Jamie Dornan seems to have completely shut himself away. Close sources revealed that he has refused all invitations to act in movies, attend events or appear in public, including projects that are expected to be blockbusters. Previously, Jamie was always considered a strong and professional man, but since the breakup of his relationship with Dakota, everything has changed dramatically. A close friend whispered, "Jamie doesn't want to talk about the past. He chooses to be silent and stay away from the Hollywood lights. There are days when he just stays home, listens to music, writes and walks around the farm with his family." Jamie's absence has worried fans everywhere. On social networks, thousands of comments appeared with the same sentiment: "We just hope you're happy again, Jamie." Some sources have even said he is considering taking a break from Hollywood to recuperate, as he did after Belfast. However, experts say that if Jamie returns to the screen, it will be one of the most emotional moments in cinema in 2026. Heartbreak Jamie Dornan writes heartfelt letter to Dakota Johnson after seclusion: "I never stopped missing you." After months of living in silence, Jamie Dornan brought fans to tears when his handwritten letter was revealed. Although he did not directly mention Dakota Johnson, each line in the letter was like a gentle but painful confession. "There are mornings when I still hear your laughter, even if it is only in my memory. Everything was light, until we let go." The letter continued to make fans choke up when Jamie admitted that he tried to forget, but realized that some memories never fade, they just sleep in the heart. According to Hollywood Insider, the letter was written during his seclusion in Ireland, amid the grey, rainy and lonely days. A friend shared, "Jamie does not regret that love. He only regrets that we met at the wrong time." Fans immediately spread the letter, sharing it hundreds of thousands of times and leaving touching comments. "Jamie, we're still here, still believing that love never dies." Is Dakota reading this? I hope she knows he's still waiting. Jamie has yet to make a public appearance, but sources close to him say he's considering a big move, possibly a return to a more personal, emotional project. Crying Dakota Johnson burst into tears when reading Jamie Dornan's letter. "I didn't know he still kept it all in his heart." Jamie Dornan's emotional letter has stirred up Hollywood, but no one expected that Dakota Johnson would also read it. According to a close source, she couldn't hold back her tears when she saw the words he wrote in loneliness. A close friend of Dakota shared, "She read the letter over and over again. At one point, Dakota was silent for a long time, then burst into tears. She said, 'I don't think he still remembers. All the little things like that.'" In a recent interview, when a reporter asked about Jamie, Dakota simply said, "Sometimes we don't need to see each other again to know that someone is still in our hearts." The quote went viral on social media, making fans choke up. Many believe that the love between Jamie and Dakota never really ended, but just paused in silence, like a song that has no ending. Another source from Los Angeles revealed that Dakota sent a mysterious gift to Ireland, where Jamie is living in seclusion, along with a card with the only words, "If the time is right, maybe we can talk again. Love letter." All of Hollywood is holding its breath waiting. Could this be a sign of a new chapter for the two stars who once shook the world? Cloud with rain fateful reunion. Jamie Dornan Dakota Johnson meet again after years of silence. On a lightly rainy afternoon in London, Jamie Dornan walked out of a small cafe on a familiar old street. He didn't know that, on the other side of the street, Dakota Johnson was also standing under a white umbrella, looking at him, silently. The moment their eyes met, time seemed to stop. No more noise, no more cameras or flashlights. Only two hearts that had lost each other, now meeting again in the rare peace of a rainy day. Jamie approached. Dakota smiled slightly, a smile that was both warm and sad. "You're still the same as that day," he replied softly, his voice trembling. "And you are still the reason I can't forget." They didn't say much. They just stood silently in the rain, letting their tears mingle with the cold drops falling down. A hug, no words, no promises, but containing everything they had lost. Passers-by did not know that they were witnessing one of the most real, fragile moments of the two stars who had captivated the world. As they left, Dakota turned to look at him one last time, whispering, "If one day we are brave enough, let's start over, not with a role, but with who we really are." Jamie stood there, watching, her smile blurred in the rain, her eyes filled with both pain and hope. Right finger, sometimes, fate doesn't separate two people forever. It just lets them go far away, long enough to realize that they belong together. Revolving hearts. Jamie Dornan, Dakota Johnson officially reunite on screen. Hollywood explodes with emotion. After many years apart and endless rumors, Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson suddenly shocked the world when appearing together in a new film project from Universal Pictures, called The Other Side of Us. According to an exclusive revelation from BBC Entertainment, the film tells the story of two souls lost in the midst of loss, finding love between reality and memory. A plot that is likened to a mirror reflecting their true love. As soon as the first trailer was released, social networks exploded with millions of comments. Speech balloon, just looking at their eyes, you know it's not acting anymore. Speech balloon, 50 Shades is the beginning, but this is destiny. The film's director revealed at the press conference. I don't need them to act. Just letting them look at each other, the frame has more real emotions than any script. Jamie Dornan shared in a special interview with BBC. Sometimes, to create the most authentic thing on screen, you have to dare to face the past. Dakota Johnson just smiled slightly, her eyes sparkling. There are roles that don't need dialogue, because the person opposite you was once your whole world. The Other Side of Us was immediately called the most magical and romantic comeback of the decade by critics. Global theaters are preparing to open early ticket sales, and in just 24 hours, the first screenings have sold out. Right finger, when two broken hearts meet again, not only is love reborn, but the whole world must be silent. Dizzy. Jamie Dornan, Dakota Johnson appear on the red carpet together. Hollywood silenced as they hold hands. Last night, at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, thousands of fans gathered early just to witness the moment the whole world had been waiting for. Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson reunited on the red carpet after many years apart. When the luxurious black car stopped, Jamie stepped out in a classic black suit. Camera flashes exploded like thunder. But the audience really exploded when Dakota appeared right after, in a pure white dress, simple but elegant, her gentle eyes directed at him. The moment they looked at each other, it was as if time stopped. Jamie smiled, walked over and took Dakota's hand. The whole audience applauded loudly, reporters were silent, and social media exploded in just a few seconds. Speech balloon, they didn't need to say anything. Just that look, the whole world understood. Speech balloon, 50 Shades is over, but Jamie and Dakota have just written a new chapter for themselves. When they entered the auditorium, they sat next to each other, in the dim light of the premiere. In the final scene of the film, when the two main characters hug each other in the rain, people saw Dakota secretly wiping away tears, and Jamie gently holding her hand, not in the script, but from the heart. The media called this the most emotional night in Hollywood this decade, when the boundary between art and reality dissolved, leaving only love, memory, and forgiveness. Crescent moon after the curtain falls. When the lights went down, it was just Jamie, Dakota, and the words that hadn't been said in years. The premiere ended, the applause faded, the audience left, the lights in the theater dimmed. Only two people remained, Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson, sitting in the last row, where everything began and ended. Neither of them said anything. On the screen, the words, "the end," still lit up against the black background, like a small cut in their hearts. Jamie sighed softly, her eyes looking at the empty frame. Have you ever thought, if we hadn't left, things would have been different? Dakota was silent. After a while, she turned around, her eyes sparkling but peaceful. I don't know, but if we hadn't left, maybe we wouldn't have understood what true love is. Jamie's voice was low, trembling a little. I never forgot, even though I tried. She smiled softly, tears falling silently. Me too. It's just, I don't know how to say it. They sat there, in the middle of the empty room, no more cameras, no more roles. A real handshake, not scripted, no need for the director to call, action. Outside, the rain fell again. The streetlights shone through the glass windows, covering them in a soft, dreamy light. Jamie said softly, as if whispering into the night. Maybe, this isn't the end. Dakota looked up at him, and only responded with a smile. A smile was enough to start it all over again.